I'm Katie Wilson, and I'm running for Seattle mayor. A lot of people have been calling me the Zohran Mamdani of Seattle. As we all know, Zohran is charismatic, telegenic, and stylish. I, on the other hand, am deeply awkward, not going to win any beauty pageants, and honestly, I spent my whole adult life looking really dumpy. Is that too much? But now I'm running for mayor. So I have to make an effort. So we're here at Goodwill. I bought a lot of clothes here over the years, and we have a lot of high stakes debates coming up. So I need to find some clothing that looks mayoral enough to debate Bruce Harrell.
You need to get you stylish pants for your debate.
Let's be honest, I don't know anything about fashion. What is it? Is it even a shirt? I have a friend here to help me, Andrew Ashiofu, Capitol Hill resident, community activist, and I think he knows a lot more than I do about what a mayor should look like.
I just want you to trust.
Okay, I trust you. I feel confident about my policies, but I do not feel confident about my wardrobe. What do I do with this? Is this supposed to be this short? I just feel like it's so short. Pants, okay. Are these too small, or is that okay, you think? These fit, but they're kind of long. You like those?
This one's interesting. In Seattle, Katie Wilson is running for Seattle mayor. She wants a bond for affordable housing. She wants to install city-owned solar panels and fund alternative crisis responses. She lives in a 600-square-foot apartment that she rents with her husband, and they have a small child there. She's running against another Democrat who is like, wait, I'm diverse. I've made incredible gains through my own hard work. But she is in the lead.
Boy. So we got to talk about another radical socialist taking down an establishment Democrat in a major U.S. city. This time we have to go out to Seattle, Washington, a city that is, let's be honest, it's just another shithole, right? We've talked about Seattle. Specifically, we've talked about the homelessness crisis out in Seattle. That seems to be a common theme across these liberal cities. They don't know how to handle these problems of having these homeless drug addicts on the street.
Why can't we enforce the law?
No Robert's rule. We're going to have a community discussion.
Last May 2nd, at a town hall meeting in Ballard, simmering anger boiled over into all-out rage.
So why do we see so many people living outdoors?
Will you manage these camps, and will you enforce the law?
There has evolved a profound disconnect, and rarely has it been more vividly laid out than in this exchange.
If property crime is committed, violence is committed, you need to call 911 and the police.
You've lost all credibility when you say, you said 2 words. You said call 911. Do you understand that the police have told us to vote you all out so that they can do their jobs? And you're telling us to call 911? You're smiling. You think it's funny? You think it's funny the way we're living?
The way we're living in beautiful Seattle, people are angry.
Yeah, they're angry, but apparently not angry enough to vote correctly, which would be to stop voting in these far-left Democrats, these socialists, these progressives that are the cause of the problem, right? They're the reason why you have the homelessness, the crime, the drug abuse on the streets of these liberal cities, because that is what they support. Seattle pulled the same move that Chicago did after they got rid of Lori Lightfoot and just elected a more far-left lunatic that, again, was the cause of all the problems that they were angry about. Okay, and Seattle here decided to elect a socialist who basically is a clone of Zohran Mamdani, except she's a white liberal woman, right? By electing Miss Katie Wilson as the next mayor. Again, this woman ran basically on the coattails of Zohran Mamdani, right? She is the Zohran Mamdani of Seattle, of the West Coast, apparently. Take a look.
In a major American city, voters in the mayoral race are being asked to choose between an older established corporate Democrat and a younger progressive challenger with an affordability message. No, not that one. This is Katie Wilson, who co-founded Seattle's Transit Riders Union and is challenging the city's current mayor, Bruce Harrell, for his seat.
Bruce Harrell is doing a bad job. Housing costs are through the roof. We're going to fight to bring them down.
And even though she's never held elected office before, Wilson already trounced him in the primary. Check out the map of primary votes. Harrell and Green got all the expensive waterfront neighborhoods, while Wilson won the rest. This mayor's race is a referendum on inequality and affordability in Seattle, where the richest fifth rake in $345,000 per household, and the poorest fifth bring in just under $19,000. Ordinary working people in Seattle are struggling to keep up with consumer prices, which are 13% higher than the national average, and housing prices, which are 50% higher than the national average. Wilson herself is a renter, and housing costs have taken center stage in the race, followed closely by other cost of living issues. Her platform focuses on things like social housing and public transit, guided by the principle that the city should invest in ambitious public infrastructure projects to benefit all residents, rather than just currying favor with the tech elite and hoping that the wealth will just magically trickle down. What will she do if she wins? Katie Wilson's proposals are pretty familiar if you've been following Zohran Mamdani's campaign. They both came out of the same populist progressive movement intent on taxing the rich to make American cities affordable for working class people. On housing, Wilson plans to champion and expand on the social housing policy that Seattle already passed. Her platform aims to build thousands of new mixed income units that serve as a public option for housing, providing much needed shelter and bringing rents down across the city. They'll be built with union labor, providing good jobs to working class Seattleites. Wilson also wants to crack down on bad landlords, strengthen renter protections, empower community land trusts, end algorithmic price fixing on rents, and limit private equity's ability to snap up homes. Like Mamdani, Wilson is proposing publicly owned grocery stores to meet the neighborhood's needs for both food and jobs. And like Mamdani, she wants to close tax loopholes on luxury properties while giving a tax break to working class homeowners. Katie Wilson's platform is studded with some of the best ideas coming out of the progressive movement right now, from fare-free public transit to implementing a just cause rule that prevents workers from being fired on a whim, to even making large employers pay for their workers' commutes.
And we do begin tonight with a breaking development in the Seattle mayoral race. Fox 13 can now project that Katie Wilson will be Seattle's next mayor. Now, after a look at the new numbers, it is nearly impossible for the incumbent, Bruce Harrell, to retake a lead in this race. So let's take a closer look at those numbers. Today, Wilson extended her lead by another 600 votes. She's now up by 1,976 votes. King County Elections tells Fox 13 it has counted every ballot that has arrived to date, adding they only expect a small number to arrive between now and certification day. So here to break it all down for us right now is Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman. Allie?
Yeah, Matt, Seattle is looking at a new mayor, the third woman in Seattle history. And just to say a few facts here, I just heard back from Katie Wilson's campaign within the last 30 minutes. I want to show you that statement now. It reads in part, "We are tremendously grateful for everyone who has supported and guided our vision for the city of Seattle. This campaign was driven by a deep belief that we need to expand the table to include everyone in the decisions that impact their lives. That is what we'll be working to do every day as we set up this new administration." And right now I want to take a moment to talk about how we got here. I actually spoke with our political analyst about both campaign, Wilson's and incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell, and he says this will be a political turning point for the city of Seattle.
We're out here on Capitol Hill. This is my neighborhood, and I just bought this slice of pizza. It cost me $8. Not faulting the folks who sold it to me. That's kind of just what pizza costs these days. It's what food costs in Seattle these days. It is crazy expensive.
A slice of pizza and a message about affordability became the symbol of a campaign that has flipped Seattle politics. Katie Wilson, a first-time candidate with no political background, has surged ahead of incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell, powered by a mix of social media savviness and what her campaign says has been a grassroots quality. But she became relatable.
A lot of people have been calling me the Zohran Mamdani of Seattle. As we all know, Zohran is charismatic, telegenic, and stylish. I, on the other hand, am deeply awkward.
Yeah, so apparently affordability has become synonymous with socialism, because I don't know about you guys, but I did not hear one policy that would actually make people's lives more affordable, right? If anything, I heard a bunch of stuff that's probably going to make their lives more expensive, okay? Or is going to push businesses away.
Fred Meyer's corporate PR machine wants us to look at their decision to close these stores and to take their excuses at face value. They want us to think it's about crime and poverty and what they like to call regulatory burdens, which means high wages and strong labor standards. But don't fall for it. This closure is about just one thing: corporate greed. Sure, the grocery business can be tough, but the Kroger Corporation is thriving. They're the second biggest grocery chain in the country. They reported an operating profit of $1.3 billion just last quarter. And while they're making the choice to walk away from communities that have supported them for decades, they paid their CEO more than $15 million last year. That's 457 times what they pay their median employee. With these closures, fresh, affordable produce is becoming much harder to reach, especially in working-class neighborhoods where good options are growing thin. On top of all this, Trump's cuts to SNAP benefits threaten to strip food assistance from thousands of families right here in Seattle. Money that's spent at local grocery stores like this one, keeping families healthy and supporting good jobs at the same time. We desperately need creative, effective local leadership to take on these challenges. That is why I am thrilled to accept UFCW's sole endorsement for Seattle Mayor, and I am proud to support UFCW 3000's Fresh Food for All campaign. Access to affordable, healthy food is a basic right. We cannot allow giant grocery chains to stomp all over our communities, close stores at will, and leave behind food deserts. Together we can build a Seattle where fresh food is for everyone, not just for those who can afford it. Food deserts are not natural. Corporations create them when they abandon our communities. As mayor, I'm excited to step up and with UFCW explore public option grocery stores to fill those gaps.
Yeah, so again, this woman, when a store says, hey, we want to leave, she said, no. Your excuses to leave are not adequate, right? We're going to try to stop you from leaving, not by cleaning up any of the problems or anything like that, right? We're not going to clean up crime. Okay, we're not going to lower your taxes. We're not going to get rid of the homelessness and the drug use, all the stuff that is causing these stores to leave. No, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is that we're going to shame you. And if you happen to leave anyways, right, even though we're going to try not to allow you to leave, we're going to just open up city-owned grocery stores, right? We're just going to take it over. The city's going to take it over, and we're going to run it. As if that is a great idea, right? As if the city-owned grocery store idea has ever worked out. It's never worked out. But again, the voters are so dumb, they don't understand that they're voting for the cause of their problems. Like, for example, these individuals in this totally not staged interaction here, right, essentially complained about being kicked out of affordable housing, okay, because they make too much money. And yet this woman supports the exact same policies that they're complaining about. So without further ado, let's get into it.
It was actually crazy because we moved to Magnolia about almost a year ago. It'll be a year in February, but we lived in First Hill, and when we were moving out of our place because they were changing it into low-income housing, which is great, because like it's a great location for it to be, but we like didn't fit into the category of like being in low-income housing, and like it was too expensive to like have normal, so there was just like a big middle wage. But that's really interesting because there's enough space here for people to be inside, and so I thought it was just like, and so we were really lucky finding the place that we did here, having both of our incomes at still like half of our income, and we're both college educated people in healthcare, so it's like it's hard to find the middle, but I'm sure I can't even imagine like how much logistics goes into it. So I think it's really cool that like that's on your mind. That's really cool, because I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff going on that you have to think about in order to be like this high up in the race. So that's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, but she's the expert.
Vote
for the expert.
I'm planning on it.
Vote for the expert. Vote for the expert. The woman who has never run a damn thing, never done a damn thing, except, be one of these community organizers, aka an agent of chaos, right? Advocating for bad policy. In this case, just like Zohran Mamdani, she supports the policy of having the government come in and force certain housing to be low income, which ultimately drives out people like this woman from that area, and she is going to have to pay more, right? She's have to pay more money due to the fact that the government came in and forced people like her out so that other people could live in the low-income housing, right? Again, what these people don't understand is that the cause of their problems are the socialist policies, but again, they're so dumb, they don't understand that, and then they turn around and vote for the same policies that they're complaining about. You can't fix this, right? Again, democracy is the problem, right? You can't fix this, okay? So yeah, with that being said, let's learn a little bit more about how people are reacting to this socialist basically becoming the mayor of Seattle.
Now, and Ari, in honor of Kamala Harris, we're going to pop up a Venn diagram to compare Wilson and Mamdani. Both support sanctuary city policies, progressive taxes, and city-owned grocery stores with slight differences in their solutions to rent and child care. So, Ari, when the final votes are counted, will our country end up being bookended by socialism?
Well, it looks like in Seattle, we're definitely going back to that, something we moved away from. But it's not so much because Katie Wilson is so successful. It's because her predecessor, or who is about to be her predecessor, was an absolute failure. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell was elected on a more moderate slate of candidates after the riots of 2020 and the deadly autonomous zone. And he promised a return to normal, a return to public safety, but he didn't do that at all. This is a guy who liked the idea of being mayor, but not actually doing the job of being mayor. And he ran a campaign as lazy as his time in office. By the time he was running for re-election, nobody wanted him. It was a lot like Cuomo if you're looking for more things to be Venn diagrams for that race. And it's not a good thing. When people show up to vote against the other candidate, not so much for you. There was no excitement for him. So what happens is you have Katie Wilson, who, going back to your Venn diagram comparison, is a 43-year-old woman who's still living off her parents because she's never had a real job. She dropped out of Oxford with 6 weeks to go before graduation. Her husband refuses to work, not can't work, refuses to work. And then she asks Seattle to pay the bills for her. Now it looks like she's going to be in charge of one of the greatest cities in the country because so many socialists showed up to vote for her and nobody wanted to vote for the moderate because he did such a terrible job.
Okay, so broadening this out.
Alleged moderate, right? Let's be careful here. Alleged moderate, right? Alleged moderate, because if he didn't actually execute on the policies, then he's not an actual moderate. Democrats and their policies have opened the door towards these socialists, okay? Democrats get in bed with these far leftists, being too far left on the policy, especially on economics. They have been the biggest boost to the socialists around the country. What you're seeing with these socialists winning is a failure of the Democrat Party.
To the takeaway for the entire nation. Left-wing media, is sure to say this likely win by Wilson is a referendum against Donald Trump. Your response?
Seattle hasn't voted for Donald Trump in any of the elections he's run for. It hasn't even been close. So, no, they will choose the socialists. And let's not forget, we had socialists in office here for years. We are still living under their policies. One of the things Bruce Harrell didn't do was roll back any of those policies. We've still been in a socialist hellhole since 2018, 2019, 2020. Nothing has changed. And he only made things worse. More taxes, more crime. And people can paint whatever narrative they want nationally, but if you dig into these races and you see why people are unhappy, you look at Minneapolis for a second. You look at Omar Fatah, who ran for office, and people didn't vote for him because there was infighting in the Somalian tribes. It's not a socialist wave that's taking over. It's that Democrat Socialists of America know how to target these races where you have an unpopular incumbent or somebody unpopular who's running in these off-year elections, and that's what they go for, and that's what they're very successful at. The problem is you're going to see more of these mini Mamdanis running across the country because the Democrats think they have found the silver bullet to defeating Republicans.
Also, we don't have time for this question, but it's taken a really long time. I mean, Democrats got their mandate a week and a half ago. We won all these races. And they lost their mandate by the weekend. You guys are still counting votes there in Seattle. What the heck's happening? Ari Hoffman, thank you for your...
Yeah, so you see, now you heard that. Now, here's the reality of the situation. Give them what they want. Right? If they want socialism, give them what they want. I said the same thing when Brandon Johnson got elected in Chicago. All of these individuals are just Brandon Johnson, to be honest with you, right? I mean, I think they're more radical than Brandon Johnson, and he's as radical as you can think of, especially on the issue of race. But yeah, just give them what they want. Every single one of these progressive experiments always ends up backfiring, and that's fine. That's fine because honestly, it's not really affecting conservatives, right? Like, if you're a conservative, why are you living in Seattle? Why are you living in New York at this point? Okay, I feel bad for those in Staten Island, but yeah, let them do it. Give them what they want. Let's see how it works out. And once again, we can prove that this stuff doesn't work. And when the country sees this stuff doesn't work, then it will play out in our favor. That's how I feel about it at this point. But like I said, all of these lunatics getting elected, it's just a sign that the Democrat Party has fallen. They have failed this country, especially in these liberal cities. And the reason why is because they've gotten in bed with these far left progressives. And the voters are so stupid, they're so dumb that they don't understand that the progressivism is the reason why they're suffering. It's not because Democrats are too conservative. or too moderate is because they're not conservative or moderate enough. And that's why you're seeing the cost of living in these cities go up, crime going up, chaos going up, homelessness going up. Despite the progressive policies, all of these things are getting worse. But again, the voters don't realize that it's the policies that you support. They don't want to admit that, hey, our policies are wrong. They double and triple down on the things that they're complaining about. So let them complain. Let them boo-hoo, whine, and cry. We can point the finger at them and say, hey, see, look, we told you, right? Just like in Chicago, we're going to be doing the same thing with New York. We're going to be doing the same thing with Seattle. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.